I'm so upset that mock season is over, even though my mock drafts were pretty far off. Like, I missed on quite a bunch of picks, but it doesn't mean mock season's over for good now. We still got next year to start talking about it. That's what we're going to be doing in this video today. Way too early, 2022 NFL mock draft. And for this, I couldn't go through all 32 teams and rank them based on how I think they're going to do this season. So I picked 10. I got the top 10 guys going, and I got the worst 10 teams I think I have. So my order, like, this is just my order. Again, this could be completely wrong, but I think this gives you a good feel at who should be at the bottom of the NFL this year. I got the number one pick, I got the Houston Texans. Number 2, I got Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 3, Detroit Lions. 4, the Jets. 5, the Giants. 6, the Falcons. 7, the Eagles. 8, the Broncos. 9, the football team. And 10, the Bengals. So those are my bottom tier 10 teams. And again, this could be in any order, although I do really, really feel strongly that the Houston Texans will be the worst team in the NFL next year. Their whole franchise is going to whatever, but that's just how I have it. So let's start off with the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are on the clock. And with the first pick overall in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans will select quarterback Spencer Rattler out of Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler, in my opinion, is the best player in all of college football right now. I've said that many, many times. I have him as my Heisman favorite right now. And Houston, the whole Deshaun Watson situation is crazy, but I just think they need a quarterback in general. They're going to move on from Deshaun, and this franchise is just in need of a new start. And what better way to start than grab a guy who is supposed to have a massive season, maybe even a national championship season in Oklahoma next season. You're going to have a guy who's coming in with playoff experience, a guy who's going to come in with playing with really, really good players. I think Spencer Rattler is a dual threat guy. He's really good on his feet and his ball skills, his accuracy downfield especially, really, really good. So the Houston Texans go out and grab a great player first round out of Oklahoma, and they take Spencer Rattler and try to get their franchise back up and going. Now, number two on the clock, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just tonight, it's 12/12, I guess, last night / this morning, the Jacksonville Jaguars took Trevor Lawrence, obviously, number 1, and then they took Travis Etienne at number 25, I think they were, which I love those two picks. I hate Clemson because I'm a South Carolina fan. I'm not going to say I like the Trevor Lawrence pick, but Travis Etienne I can respect, so I like that pick for them. Defensively, they're still a good team. You got big guys on that line, like Josh Allen was a big guy that they got there. They got Caleb Chase on in last year's draft, so it's a young learning defense. So you got CJ Henderson, I'm pretty sure, a cornerback there, who they also drafted last year. There's a guy in this draft, just a defensive player, that if you're not going for a quarterback, you're taking this guy no matter what your team needs are, because he's just one of those impact players that you need. I'm going with Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon, big edge rusher out of Oregon. Again, this is a guy who's going to be like your Chase Young, like a guy like that, where you're going to have Joe Burrow go number 1 in the draft, but getting this guy to you at number 2 when quarterback isn't a strong need of your team, he's going to do some things on your defense. And you saw that this year with Chase Young for the football team, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Kayvon Thibodeau, man, big dude and a guy who gets after the quarterback. So if the Jaguars have their quarterback, they have their running back, they have their receivers, O-line maybe could use some work. But if you have a guy of this caliber and no one's screaming at you in this draft of a position of need, you 110% go grab a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. Number 3, I have the Detroit Lions, and I don't think Jared Goff is the answer out of Detroit. So to number 3, to the Detroit Lions, I have Sam Howell, quarterback out of North Carolina. Now, the question between Spencer Rattler and Sam Howell, many people feel differently. A lot of people say Sam Howell's the best quarterback in college football. A lot of people say Spencer Rattler is. Both guys are going to be top 3 picks. They are both amazing quarterbacks. And with the Lions, again, I don't believe that Jared Goff is going to be the guy who they just take in the draft. They took Penny Sewell, so you got someone to protect him. Sam Howell, when you bring him in there, he's your guy. Just a big, big quarterback guy. The body size that you want in the NFL, got the arm strength, got everything, the mobility, and just a strong overall player. So Sam Howell out of UNC, I think, fits a perfect role into what Detroit Lion is to really trying to kickstart back up there in Detroit. Number four, I have the New York Jets, and the New York Jets will select with the 4th overall pick, Derek Stingley, cornerback out of Louisiana State or LSU. The talent from that national championship team is still spilling over into this draft. And Derek Stingley's the number 1 guy from that team in this draft. No doubt about it. Number 1 cornerback in all of college football, has been for the last couple of years, and he finally makes his way into the NFL, where you got the Jets, who just take a quarterback, and it never hurts to just grab a really, really good and talented and physical DB in Derek Stingley, who loves to get his hands on the balls that the quarterback throws. Like, go back to his national championship season at LSU. I think he had like 7 interceptions or something like that in his freshman season. Derek Stingley is going to be one of the great cornerbacks in the NFL. So the Jets, especially when quarterback's not a need, and you're going to see that when quarterback is a need for your team, you're willing to reach for guys. We saw that in this year's draft. Tons of quarterbacks went early, and I feel like kind of the same thing is going to happen here. So I have Derek Stingley going number 4 to the Jets. Number 5, the New York Giants. Quarterback is going to be a need. I don't think it's Daniel Jones. That's why I was calling him. Daniel Jones is not the answer in New York. I think it's obvious, and I think it's going to be time for them to move on ultimately. Lucky for them, there's kind of a breakout star who's been coming out. Transferred to a more high-caliber team last year in the Georgia Bulldogs. Had a great season last year, even though he only got to play towards the end of the half. This year, he's playing on an elite Georgia Bulldogs team. The arm strength is there. The accuracy is there for JT Daniels. It's just how consistent can JT Daniels be, and can JT Daniels lead the Georgia Bulldogs to a successful season? I think that will be some big questions going into how JT Daniels will ultimately lead up in this draft, but I think he'll have a good season, and the Giants will snag him at number 5. Number 6, the Atlanta Falcons. I also have them going into some kind of quarterback situation. I don't know if Matt Ryan's going to be the guy, and it just seems like so many teams are going to be going for quarterbacks still next year. The Atlanta Falcons, I have them going at number 6. Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss. This guy secretly had one of the best seasons as a quarterback last season in college football. Just no one talked about it because it was all kind of clouded up over that Arkansas game where, yes, he did throw 6 interceptions against Arkansas. It was less than spectacular by far. But you look at any of his other games, especially go to a game against Bama or something like that, this team was constantly running up the scoreboard. This guy's a constant deep ball threat, and he can run the ball really well. So definitely Matt Corral, a guy that any team searching for a quarterback should have on their radar if they don't have that immediate 1st or 2nd pick. But Matt Corral, definitely a talented guy, and I think the Falcons will move on from Matt Ryan and nab him at number 6. Number 7, the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts, he's not going to be ready to move on yet, or the Eagles aren't going to be ready to move on from him yet, even if he does have an unsuccessful season next year. He could have an amazing season, but I think the Eagles are just going to go for defense because they went Devontae Smith this season. You got Miles Sanders in the backfield. The offense is looking fine in Philadelphia. Look on the defensive side of the ball. Build on your defensive line. I'm going with DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M, a guy who many people, again, like a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, this guy could be the number 1 defensive lineman in this whole draft and just be a real breakout guy for Texas A&M this year. Really quick off the edge and just a powerful guy that if you're an offensive lineman, you do not want to be going up against him. DeMarvin Leal, definitely a guy that's going to be high on draft boards, and if your team isn't in an immediate quarterback situation or an immediate position need, like let's say the Philadelphia Eagles, and they could just fill into any spot on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to draft the most talented guy on the board, and that is DeMarvin Leal at that point. Number 8, the Denver Broncos. This was a hard one for me because I don't know if I want to pick them a quarterback yet, especially with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing that's playing out, and apparently he's showing interest in Denver, and I don't want to say that the Denver Broncos are going to be going after a quarterback just yet, just in case they grab somebody in free agency next year or something like that. So I am going with Evan Neal, offensive lineman out of Alabama. Alabama's rushing game over the last couple of years and Alabama's pass protect game has been really, really good for Mac Jones and for Najee Harris, for Tua Tagovailoa. Tons of guys like that. Alabama's O-line is always really, really good. And Evan Neal was a guy on that line with Alex Leatherwood with Landon Dickerson that was just really, really successful all the time. Huge offensive lineman. Protect whatever quarterback you're going to bring in. There's no point in bringing in a quarterback if you don't have the line to protect him. So I think the Denver Broncos go up number 8 and take Evan Neal out of Alabama. Number 9, I have the Washington football team, or hopefully by then, what was the name I really like? There's one name that was sick in the, what was it? I don't want to say projected names or the proposed names for the Washington football team. I can't remember the team name, but there was one pick that was I think it was like War Hogs or something like that. Love that. I hope they go with that. But Washington football team or Washington War Hogs going with a quarterback because I don't think Fitzpatrick is your long-term answer at quarterback for Washington. I honestly don't believe that because he's old and he just bounces around from team to team. So I'm taking Keaton Slovis out of USC. Keaton Slovis out of USC. USC had another successful season last year in the Pac-12. One of the better teams definitely in the Pac-12, and I think that is accredited to Keaton Slovis. Of course, they started later in the season, but Keaton Slovis is looking to go out, get a big Pac-12 championship next season, and he's just a guy with good ball skills. He's got an arm, he's able to place it in good spots, and he is looking to be one of the top-tier quarterbacks in this next year's draft. So the Washington football team at number 9, I got them taking Keaton Slovis. Finishing up at number 10 with the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals originally in this pick, I had them taking Chris Olave, but then in this draft today, they decided to go out and grab Jamar Chase, which I love that pick. Bringing back the Burrow to Chase connection is going to be so much fun to watch out there in Cincinnati. And with that said, I think the Bengals just take the best defensive player on the board because you can build on your defense. There's no one really on the offensive line. If there was an offensive lineman that really stood out to me here, I'd be all over that. But I'm going Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. Defense you can never go wrong with, especially in your secondary, especially in the AFC North where defenses are really, really strong, and the Bengals are kind of the weakest defense right now. Go out, grab your safety. There's not too many safeties that you'll see in each and every NFL draft that is getting the tier that Kyle Hamilton is, where he's a top 10 prospect going into next season. So when you have a guy of that talent falling back to you at number 10 in a position need for you in Cincinnati, take him easy, no questions at it. So thank you for watching this video, guys. I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button down below, comment down below, subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys, so much. 2022 NFL draft is going to be a year away, but we'll make it there. We got a great NFL season coming up, great college football season coming up, and the draft will be here before you know it. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Like down below, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and come back next time.